So if we haven't met, I'm Henry. All right, y'all. We are doing the next theme, the December energy forecast. So, December energy forecast, this is theme number 7, welcoming new energies within yourself. But before we get to that, let's take a moment, y'all. Let's take a moment to take a nice deep breath. So, let yourself find a comfortable position, either seated or laying down, or even standing. And I invite you to close your eyes, lower your gaze, and take a nice deep breath. Take a slow, calming breath. Feel the inhale filling your lungs. And then exhale, softening your shoulders. And then take 2 more deep breaths. Letting the noise of the day fade as you tune into this present moment. So, another deep breath. And then we're going to invite Reiki energy healing in. If you wish to receive Reiki, say, yes, I'd like to receive Reiki for my highest good. If you don't, that's okay. You can still listen to the talk, do the meditation. And with that, we're just going to take another moment here. Take another deep breath. All right, my friends, welcome. So we're going to focus on the 7th theme of the December energy forecast. It's one of the 10 themes that I'm sharing with you in more accessible segments. So if you crave the bigger picture, there is a full podcast episode, and or if you're listening to on YouTube, there's a full YouTube episode that is available. But for now, we're going to journey deeply into this single theme. This is welcoming new energies within yourself. And so this is part of the December energy forecast. Okay, so as you release old patterns, limited beliefs, or old beliefs, stories, you create space for new energies to enter your life. And these fresh currents can feel exhilarating, like a breath of crisp winter air. At first, you might interpret the flutter in your chest as fear or anxiety, but if you look more closely, it might be anticipation, excitement, readiness. Think about moments when you've tried something new and thrilling. It could be anything like starting a new project or even giving a speech or traveling to an unfamiliar place. The heart may have raced not only in apprehension, but really in delight of stepping boldly into something unknown. Years ago, I did one of those moments of jumping out of the plane, and it was when I was going up in the airplane, I thought I was gonna be really nervous up until the moment when the parachute opened, but y'all, I had some moments of that flutter where I was like, "Oh, I'm a little nervous," but I was so excited. But I didn't really understand the excitement until that moment when we were just gliding through the air. I felt like I was flying. It was such an incredible time where when we jumped out of the plane and we were just gliding through the air, it was so incredibly silent in the stillness, and it was such a profound experience. The entire time, the person I was being filmed, and the entire time, y'all, I was grinning. And if you would have told me, you know, we're like, do you think you'll be like so in joy of just jumping out of a plane? And I was just in sheer joy. And then the parachute opened, and I just felt so excited and it was so incredible, and I was so glad that I tried something new. And so this is what it is, welcoming new energies within yourself, where there's these fresh currents that can feel exhilarating, that you can interpret the flutter in your chest maybe as fear and anxiety and some nervousness, but if you look more closely, it might be anticipation, excitement, readiness, and just that you've trying something new and thrilling. And so, the heart can race not only in apprehension, but really in delight of stepping boldly into something unknown. And obviously, when I was jumping out of the plane, I was stepping boldly into something unknown. And it is still such a profound experience. I just so much joy in it, so much joy. And it's for me, it was an experience that I did it once. I didn't feel like I needed to do it again. Will I do it again one day? Maybe. But it was such a profound, joyful experience for me. And so I think it's really important along the way in my own humaning. I have found that it is really beneficial for the human to step outside of the comfort zone, and that there can be some nerves, but when you're stepping boldly into something, there can also be the greatest delight of your lifetime. So December is really encouraging you to view this nervous energy as a sign of growth, and also that it could be delight of stepping boldly into something that truly is just incredible and profound and thrilling, and that can add to your life in ways that you don't even know until you're moving in the experience and through it. So, as unfamiliar vibrations stir your spirit, tune in. Does this new sensation uplift you, spark curiosity, or inspire you to expand your horizons? Instead of retreating, lean into these feelings. They are signposts directing you toward evolution, creativity, and alignment with your soul's purpose. I had another experience many, many, many years ago where I was ice climbing. That's right, y'all. I was ice climbing. And the first couple times I did ice climbing, like I just loved it. It was just so much fun for me. And then on this day of our when we were summiting, it was a pretty steep climb. And I remember this one moment where I looked down and I realized, holy moly, I am so far from the bottom. And yet I'm also so far from the top of the summit. It was so far. And also, I was literally vertical, where the only thing that was keeping me on that ice wall were the ice axes that you hold and the crampons that are in the ice wall. And I was literally vertical. And it was such a moment of like, oh my goodness. And I remember just this, just wave of just fear and anxiety came over me that I didn't have previously ice climbing. And then I was literally like frozen to the wall. Like I felt nauseous. I felt like I was going to throw up on the ice wall. I could not move. And I also was like, I don't even know what's going to happen. I don't even know how they get me down from the ice wall. What is going to happen here? And I was definitely panicking, and I was frozen. And there was a moment though where this person that we were in a team, and the person who was above me that had just climbed to the next pitch, he yelled down to me. He said, "Henry, you can do it. You can do it, Henry. You've been doing it. You can do it." And I just remember looking up at him, and it just broke me out of this non-beneficial fear and being frozen against the wall, where I was like, yes, I can do it. And I've been doing it. I've done it the last couple days. I can do this. And this real incredible adrenaline just surged through me, and I was all of a sudden in this shifting of this delight again, that yes, I can do hard things, that also yes, I can do this, and this is also something that has been fun for me. I can do this even though today's climb is a lot more steeper than yesterday and the day before's climb. I can do this. And then from there, you know, the apprehension just completely disappeared. And I just had the delight of stepping boldly into something unknown. And I literally just, it was like I charged up the mountain as if it wasn't even steep, as if I wasn't even in crampons and ice axes. Like the people that I were with were like, the change in you was so incredible to see that I just shifted into gear. And it was just like I was out for a Sunday walk instead of, there I am climbing up a ice wall. And so, these experiences for me has just been about me learning, growing, and evolving, and just understanding again and again that, you know, how, where am I with my relationship with fear? Do I let the fear and anxiety debilitate me to the point where I stop myself from living? I stop myself from trying new things. I stop myself from having fun of an experience that I previously liked. Or do I process the fear and the anxiety and let myself shift into an empowerment, and let myself then, shift and then be in these unfamiliar vibrations to then stir my spirit and then let myself shift into being uplifted so I can try new things and enjoy getting out of my comfort zone to the point where it can bring in just profound experiences. Cause I tell you, when I got to that top of the mountain, y'all, like, it was so profound to me. My resilience to be able to do it has just then supported me the rest of my life thus far. That was an experience that happened to me in my 20s, and now I'm 53. And I will tell you, I've been through some really difficult times in my life. And I know that me overcoming being frozen on a mountaintop on the side of the mountain has for sure helped me get out of some really, really awful ruts. Because in your physical, when you have physical goals of doing something, the mental and the emotional bodies, you have to work through the emotions. You have to also work through the mental capacity. And so it really taught me how to work with the bodies and the systems in the bodies. And you can't override one for another. I couldn't continue physically going up the mountain until I processed the fear, the anxiety, until I processed the thoughts. And then once I did that, I was free to move up the mountain once more. So, y'all, you know, instead of retreating, lean into these feelings. They are signposts directing you toward evolution, creativity, and alignment with your soul's purpose and your human experience. So, again, December is encouraging you to view this nervous energy as a sign of growth. As unfamiliar vibrations stir in your spirit, tune in. Does this new sensation uplift you, spark curiosity, or inspire you to expand your horizons? Instead of retreating, lean into these feelings. They are signposts directing you toward evolution, creativity, and alignment with your soul's purpose. And I can say, looking back on those two experiences that I shared, those for sure were part of my own soul's divine blueprint to support my human in learning and understanding just a lot of elements that have supported me in all kinds of ways from then on. So with that then, you know, integration work, how to support the welcome of new energies. One, honoring the new vibration, giving yourself permission to experience the energy without labeling it as good or bad. Y'all, with energy work and with our experience here, one day you can be feeling amazing. The next day, though, something can be coming up that may have been blocked or dormant, that is coming then to the surface to be cleared. And if you just label like, yesterday I felt good, today I feel bad, then you're getting caught in like that 3D element of that duality of right, wrong, good, or bad. It's not right, wrong, good, or bad. There's an isness. There's the business and the isness. And so you just want to give yourself permission to experience the energy without labeling it as good or bad, right or wrong. Just notice how it feels in your body. Is it a warmth in your heart center? A spark in your stomach? A tingle in your hands? Sometimes you can feel vibrations and you feel the tingling in your hands or feet. By becoming an observer, you ease resistance and you allow these energies to flow through you. So by becoming an observer, you ease resistance and allow these energies to flow through you. And then engaging curiosity over fear. When stepping into new territory, the mind, the mind often pulls from past experiences to predict outcomes, whether or not the mind's going to be right per se. Gently remind yourself, this is a new moment, a new opportunity. This is a new moment, a new opportunity. This is a new moment, a new opportunity. Invite curiosity. What could be possibly here? What could be possibly here? Rather than shrinking back into old habits, what could be possibly here? There was another moment in my life where I was on a show. We were in Hawaii, the Big Island, for weeks, filming a TV show. And during we had just finished a shoot where people were cliff jumping. And so we had an opportunity afterwards to do the cliff diving as well as, crew, while the cameras were being broken down, and we had safety people there. And basically in this cliff diving, you were on one side that was really high up, and there were these safety people on the other side that would give you the green light to jump, because there was only certain times that you could jump, because if there are certain waves coming in, it could pummel you into this cave area and could be really dangerous. And so when they gave you the green light, it was like jump. And I had been so excited. You can see there's a theme here going on in my life. This was in my 20s too. And I was so excited all day to go and do this. And I don't have a fear of heights. And I was so excited. And a good friend of mine, Mike, he was doing it too. And so he had previously gone. And so I then stepped up to the edge to jump, and I got the go ahead. And y'all, again, like I froze. I was like, oh my God, I was so in my head running all the options of like things that possibly could happen. And this camera operator, the jib operator, he was above me breaking down the jib. And he just said to me, Henry. I looked up to him and he said, don't think, just do it now. And I listened to him and I jumped. And as I jumped, I just, I'm soaring through the air. And I just realized, wow, you can either there can be beneficial aspects of fear where it is showcasing you to be aware in regard to survival. And so there's beneficial aspects of fear. But it really made me realize, it was the first time I realized that fear could be debilitating, that it could actually shut you down from experiencing things. And I felt so proud of myself that I moved through it and I had that profound realization for myself. And so it changed my relationship with fear. And anytime I felt this similar type of fear, I knew that it was beneficial for me to learn to move through it and not let it paralyze me into anxiety. And so, and I'm not saying that it's been, easy, because there's been many moments in my life. And so that's where we're here to learn, grow, and evolve, though, and let yourself evolve. And also, in my maternal paternal lineages, in my maternal side, my mom, she is often let fear and anxiety just freeze her. And so I also had to clear from that, from the maternal lineage of of moving through not being shut down by non-beneficial fear and anxiety from the ancestral energy field. And then also that can connect to the collective, where in the collective, if anyone has, you know, gotten caught in allowing fear to be so debilitating that they've frozen to not allowing themselves to have new experiences, because of all like the what ifs. And my mom is like the grand master of like the what ifs. In fact, oftentimes I learned early on that, okay, if there was something that I was going to try, I'm a researcher too. I'm like researching things before I do things to really understand it from a technical aspect. But I wouldn't really share with my mom things like, I'm going to go ice climbing. I told her that. I told her I went ice climbing after I went ice climbing and I came home safely, because otherwise she would have run through the scenarios of all these things that could possibly happen, which then could possibly, like, be in my mind. And so with that, I look at these things where, I I went cliff diving. That was the first moment where I had that moment of understanding fear. And then the next time I went ice climbing. And then by the time I jumped out of the plane, that was actually later. By the time I jumped out of the plane, I had a different relationship where I wasn't then getting caught in the fear, and I was able to really be in an experience of exhilaration. But I also had cleared a lot of the maternal lineages in regarding that, because I had been working on it. I had worked on clearing the ancestral energy field, some of the past lives elements of it, as well as aspects from the collective, so I could really be in a present experience of a new moment with it. So I'm sharing this because sometimes it just takes time too. And that means patience. So I just gave 3 examples in my own life where 2 of them, the cliff diving was first. That was in my, that was like in my, actually, no, the cliff diving wasn't first. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. The ice climbing, now I'm remembering it. The ice climbing was first, which had such more of a terrifying feel than the cliff diving. But by the time I got to the cliff diving, I had cleared some of it because I had recognized what happened in the ice climbing. So it was the ice climbing first, then it was the cliff diving. And so by the time I got to jumping out of the plane, um, I had a whole different experience with it. And I was really able to be more so in exhilaration and be present moment of joy. I felt like I was flying through the air, and I also felt very safe in the experience in regard to understanding the profound experience that was calling to me. So I share that because it is about, recognizing. It's interesting because I haven't thought about these things in a while, which is why I kind of got the timeline where now, yeah, it was first the ice climbing, and then it was the cliff diving, and then um it was the plane, jumping out of the plane. So I share those experiences because it is about letting yourself clear, recognize, honoring new vibrations, engaging in curiosity over fear. When stepping into new territory, the mind often can pull from past experiences to support, like in terms of survival aspects, to try to predict outcomes. But you want to gently remind yourself this is a new moment, a new opportunity, which is why then by the time I got to the plane, I was able to really have a new moment and new opportunity. Inviting in curiosity, what could possibly be here, rather than shrinking back into old habits or into habits from maternal and paternal lineages that were handed down through the DNA or aspects from the collective. And then also attuning to inner guidance. As old layers peel away, you become more sensitive to your intuition. You begin to listen more deeply. If you feel drawn to a new hobby, a different career path, or a healing practice, trust that nudge. Even if it feels unusual, it may be leading you toward greater authenticity and purpose. And with that too, like when I was, in grade school, I had the information, the intuitive information that one day I was going to work in television. And, you know, when I was in grade school, I was going to school in a small town in Massachusetts. No one knew anybody that worked in television back then, and so this was in the 80s. And so one of my teachers said to me, you have to be practical about what you want. Why don't you think about being, doing something practical? And she listed some things off, like an assistant or a nurse or just things like that. But I intuitively understood that I was going to be moving to California and working in television. And just because a teacher didn't have the experience of what I understood, it didn't mean that I can't listen to my intuition. So even if it feels unusual, it may be leading you toward greater authenticity and purpose. So if you feel drawn to that new hobby, a different career path, or healing practice, trust that nudge. And even if people don't around you may not understand yet, they may not have caught up to where you are, it's okay. Just have compassion, loving kindness, and a ton of patience. And then embodying the energy, letting yourself integrate the new energies for the highest good in however that works for you. It can be through meditation, allowing yourself to bring in realizations, integrating the new realizations. It also could be through yoga, meditation, energy work, dance, going on nature walks, because movement can help integrate fresh vibrations, making them feel more familiar and natural. Also, journal writing can really help too. Journal writing, intention writing, writing intentions and affirmations can also really help you to embody the energy, because essentially you're getting used to a new energy frequency vibration. And so if you grew up in a family that had certain frequencies in the family or energies in the family, and you're being called to be a cycle breaker, that means then there's new energy coming in and a new way of beingness. And so it's about learning how to embody that and living in that self-actualization. Okay, so here are some journal questions that can support you in regarding this theme. Okay, what new energies or opportunities are entering my life right now? How do I feel when I think about them? What new energies or opportunities are entering my life right now? And how do I feel when I think about them? If I look at my feelings of nervousness as excitement instead of fear, what changes in my perspective? If I look at my feelings of nervousness as excitement instead of fear, what changes in my perspective? So, what areas of my life are ready for fresh energy? My relationships, my work, my personal growth, my curiosity, my creativity, I mean. What areas in my life are ready for fresh energy? My relationships, my work, my personal growth, my creativity. And you can also pause for these questions to answer them. I'll also at some point put them in the show notes. When have I previously embraced something new and unexpected, and how did that experience help me grow? When have I previously embraced something new and unexpected, and how did that experience help me grow? So this is something really important to let yourself ponder, because a lot of times people have experiences and they're not really connecting on how it actually supported them to evolve and grow. And there's so many yeah, I'm like thinking about another time. I don't know why my times are all from when I've had experiences of nature. There was another time when I was hiking the Grand Canyon, and y'all, a flash flood happened, which, I mean, we had seen the signs, literally seen the signs that said, "Be aware of flash floods, dangerous." We were in our 20s. So many things happened in my 20s. And so we're in our 20s, and previously the week before, a flash flood had happened in I think it was the Grand Canyon, and something had happened to someone. And so we had seen the stories, but of course, yeah, we were in our 20s. So it's like, not going to happen to us. So anyway, beautiful day. The next thing you know, but beautiful. It was a beautiful day. And one of my brothers had been meeting up with my friends and my brother is, I think he had just hiked the Grand Tetons. But anyway, he was coming from another hiking place and with one of our college friends, and they were late getting to our meeting point. And of course, back then we didn't have cell phones. And so it was like, we're meeting here. And so we were waiting. So we waited. We were late on our hike by like a couple hours or something. And so then, which by the way, ended up being for the highest good, because if we hadn't started at a later point, we would have been probably in a really serious situation when the flash flood happened. We would have been not able to climb out, like not able to by climb out, we probably would have been at a point where we couldn't get to high ground because we would have been too deep into the canyon, but not far enough to be able to uh, be in a good coverage place. So anyway, we were hiking and beautiful day, beautiful day. And then next, it just starts raining and we'd passed the signs. We had seen the signposts, beware of flash floods. And my brother and his friend, they needed to, I don't know, they needed to stop, and I think they were trying to get some snacks out of their bags and things like that. And so they said that they would catch up to us. And so we were just hiking along, and the next thing you know, a full like river started, and there were rapids and there were waterfalls that were forming, up ahead on the walls. And so we were like, holy momoly. And I just remembered, like, we were all yelling, oh my God, we got to get to, high ground, high ground, high ground, high ground. And it was definitely this moment of like, oh my goodness. And we started seeing backpacks, floating down the rapids of the river. And so we got to high ground, and, I was separated from my brother for what seemed like a long time. I don't know how long it was, but it was just that moment of like, oh my goodness. And I just remembered like just looking at all these waterfalls that had formed in an instant, and this just raging river that had formed in an instant. It's literally a flash flood. And this situation, and just being really grateful that my brother had been late, because any further and it would have been a really serious situation. And that's where then, things happen, and it's, for your highest good in terms of your protection, where even though you could have been annoyed, like, oh, why is he late? Why is my brother late? And now it's like having my friends like, wait, where is he? And I was probably all those things before he got there. But then it was like, oh God, thank goodness he was late, because we were not, we were in a less serious situation than we would have been if he hadn't been late. And so that's why too, you just never know how something is for the highest good. And we can get so aggravated and caught up in a moment of like, why did that blah 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 blah, blah. And meanwhile, the universe could be working through someone to ultimately protect us, for the highest good. And so on that trip then, eventually the rain stopped, and then it was like poof, magic, where the river was no longer, the waterfall stopped, and it was like it never even occurred. It was just one of the most like craziest experiences where you're like, wow, nature is amazing. And okay. And so, and then my brother and his friend, our college friend, met up with us, and everybody was safe. And we then we then moved on. We then hiked all the way down, and we camped out there, and it was definitely like a wow, one of those experiences where you are like, we lived, and you are so grateful for it, and you feel so present, so present. And so I share that because, again, it's like, in these experiences, it's really understanding, how have I learned and grown? What is the wisdom that has been downloaded? And I definitely know from that experience for me, what I learned, and I grew. And so take time, when you're looking at new energies or opportunities that are entering your life right now, how do I feel when I think about them? If I look at my feelings of nervousness as excitement instead of fear, what changes in my perspective? Like, take some time to answer these questions and really reflect, not just surface answer them, like, really reflect. What areas of my life are ready for fresh energy? My relationships, my work, my personal growth, my creativity. When have I previously embraced something new and unexpected, and how did that experience help me grow? So I just shared that experience about hiking in the Grand Canyon. Y'all, I embraced something new and unexpected. And I tell you, how did it help me in terms of growing? I don't know. It really made me grateful to be present and to live. And also just my relationships, with my friends at the time. Two of them were high school friends, and my brother, obviously, and our college friend. Just really just cherish the relationships, and that we all had this experience, and we came out okay, and that we also grew closer through that experience at that time, and we took care of one another. And that's really then embodying, the energy of love and care. So, and we also had a lot of fun, on that trip. It's like before that, and then even while we were waiting, and then afterwards, we went through something together. And so then the next question is, what bold steps can I take, however small, to welcome new energy and signal to the universe that I'm open and ready? So, what bold steps can I take, however small, to welcome new energy and signal to the universe that I'm open and ready? And then, and which is interesting because all the everything that I've been sharing is about steps, whether it was, taking steps to ice climb up and go up the mountain, or taking steps to jump out of a plane, or taking steps to cliff dive, or literally taking steps hiking the Grand Canyon. All about steps, my friends. It's interesting as I've been talking, the guides have been just, my higher self, soul, and guides are just been saying, share this example, this example. Now it all just comes together, right? All right. And then the next question is, how can I align with this new energy to express more of my authentic self? Like, how can I align with this new energy to express more of my authentic self? And with that, then, like the experiences I shared, part of it, I also was, supporting then breaking cycles from ancestral energy field, from my maternal paternal lineages, to be able to then to express my authentic self. And my authentic self, like also in terms of my human experience of being adventurous or wanting to just try things in life. Like, just because my mom didn't want to do X, Y, and Z, it doesn't mean that I can't break cycles to align with new energy to express more of my authentic self. I can download the wisdom and beneficial traits of my ancestors. But in terms of things that are survival, or maybe have held some of my ancestors back, or maybe created sabotage or fear or anxiety that became debilitating, I don't need to stay in that energy, because then that blocks me from my higher self, soul, my authentic self. So then by clearing and calling in new energies and, processing experiences and breaking cycles to allow yourself to shift, you can then align with this new energy to express more of your authentic self. That is why, like, answering these questions and taking time to connect the story dots in the multidimensional way can really just be supportive. And then doing the energy work for the clearing. Tell you, the energy work is a key part of this, my friends. So allow yourself to write freely for these journal questions. And then these reflections can help you identify how new energies want to weave into the tapestry of your life. And then here are some intentions, affirmations for December's welcoming of new energies. You can write them. You can I send Reiki to them. You can use them as affirmations, whatever you want. And then if you want to repeat after me, if this resonates with you, do so. Here we go. I intend to welcome new energies into my life with curiosity and openness and a willingness to explore. And by new energies, you could also say, experiences, intentions. By new energies is, it could be, joy, harmony, abundance. It could be a lot of things. But if however you want to word it, go ahead. I intend to welcome new energies into my life with curiosity, openness, and a willingness to explore. I intend to recognize excitement in unfamiliar sensations, trusting that I'm stepping into greater alignment and growth. I intend to recognize excitement in unfamiliar sensations, trusting that I'm stepping into greater alignment and growth. I choose to embrace the unknown, seeing it as a doorway to expanded possibilities and creative expression. I choose to embrace the unknown, seeing it as a doorway to expanded possibilities and creative expression. I trust my inner guidance to direct me toward new paths that resonate with my soul's purpose. I trust my inner guidance to direct me toward new paths that resonate with my soul's purpose. I commit to allowing fresh energy to inspire meaningful shifts, both within myself and how I show up in the world. I commit to allowing fresh energy to inspire meaningful shifts, both within myself and in how I show up in the world. So repeat these intentions, use them as affirmations silently or out loud, feeling each word resonate within you. And over time, they can become anchors, light anchors, reminding you that new energies are allies, not enemies. And that it is possible. You are an energy alchemist. It is possible to shift and change and be in different energetic vibrational state. All right, so the astrological influence for this theme is the new moon in Sagittarius that was on December 1st, sparks expansion and a willingness to venture beyond the familiar. Neptune direct December 7th brings spiritual clarity, heightened intuition, making it easier to trust your inner compass. Jupiter's ongoing influence, encouraging tangible growth and practical action steps toward your goals. Gemini full moon, which just happened on December 15th, stimulates curiosity, inventive thinking, and the exploration of new ideas. Then the black moon is in Capricorn, December 30th, supports purging what's outdated and anchoring in new foundations for long-term growth. The energy theme connection is as you open to these new energies, you transform raw inspiration into meaningful expression. Creatively exploring uncharted territories allows you to channel your newfound light vibrancy into purposeful, inspiring action. This journey prepares you for a transformative chapter ahead, one in which you are more aligned, more authentic, and more ready than ever to step into your soul's purpose guiding you. Your soul's purpose that is guiding you in terms of your divine design. So, with that, my friends, we are coming to a close for now. And before we go, let us just do a delinking. Let's just break the links. So, say this after me. If this resonates with you, I ask to break the links with this mindfulness chat. I ask to break the links with this Reiki. I ask to break the links, leaving only harmony and balance at either ends. I also ask to clear any residual energies being held in my body as a result of these links. I ask that light fill the void, cells, rejuvenates, refreshes, revitalizes for the highest good with ease and grace. And so it is, my friends. And so it is. And so with that, let's take a nice final slow breath here for this moment with us. Take a nice slow breath. Inhaling the freshness of these new energies, bringing in joy, peace, harmony, abundance, prosperity, love, kindness, compassion. Exhaling any lingering doubt. Do another one. And then with that, my friends, let yourself carry the spirit of welcome and curiosity with you into the days ahead. Know that embracing the unknown can lead to unexpected growth, joy, and a deeper connection with who you are becoming. As you honor the sensations of new energy, you are giving yourself permission to evolve gracefully, boldly, and in harmony with the expanding energy. With that, my friends, we are complete for now. Until soon, stay inspired, my friends. Much, much, much love.